lots of options. I can tell you like the kids to be in one area and the adults to be in the other.
Everyone knows the cheerful HGTV host, but almost nobody knows the darkness he crawled out of to get there. As bright and animated as David Bromstad appears on screen, something about his story has always felt just a little too perfect. And once you peel back that glossy exterior, the picture shifts fast. Because behind the smile that charmed millions on my lottery dream home, there's a chapter he almost never talks about, one that started long before TV cameras ever found him. David didn't grow up in Hollywood buzz or coastal sunshine. He grew up in Cokato, Minnesota, small town, traditional home, the kind of place where difference wasn't celebrated, it was targeted. And David? He stood out in ways that made him a walking bullseye. The bullying wasn't subtle. It wasn't random. It was coordinated cruelty on a scale most people never experience. In high school, during what should have been a normal lunch break, over 600 students joined in a public humiliation so shocking that David later described it as daylight hell. And the moment that stunned him most wasn't the crowd. It was seeing the principal, the adult meant to protect him, swept up in the chaos. That wasn't just bullying. That was betrayal. After that day, everything spiraled. David withdrew, carrying scars no teacher ever asked about. No counselor intervened. He lived with depression throughout most of his 20s, not discovering himself, but trying to survive himself. And while the world saw the future designer who loved color, they didn't know the truth. Color wasn't just his art. Color was the only place he felt safe. Late at night, while the rest of his town slept, David sketched, drew, built entire worlds in his mind just to escape the one he was stuck in. Every vibrant shade he later used on TV didn't come from inspiration. It came from defiance. Every bold palette was a refusal to disappear. So when viewers see that unmistakable sparkle in his eyes on HGTV, they're not seeing natural charm. They're seeing someone who learned to shine because the alternative was losing himself completely. By the time David escaped Minnesota, he had one dream left intact. A dream so big it kept him alive when nothing else did, working for Disney. Not visiting, not admiring, creating. And somehow, against every odds stacked against him, he pulled it off. Fresh out of Ringling College of Art and Design, he walked straight into the most coveted animation studio in the world. For a moment, it looked like the universe was finally apologizing for everything it put him through. But Disney magic doesn't last forever. A massive wave of layoffs swept through the company, and David, new, hopeful, still trying to build a life, was suddenly out. No safety net, no backup plan, no idea what came next. Losing the job wasn't just a financial hit. It was an identity crisis. The one dream that had survived his childhood was gone in a single meeting. And here's the part people miss. This could have easily been the chapter where he disappeared. Instead, something strange happened. With nothing left to lose, David pivoted into interior design. A field he hadn't planned on, a field that didn't exactly scream stability. He started small, working on children's rooms, sketching ideas that fused the imagination of animation with real, tangible space. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't profitable, but it kept him moving. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 2006, a friend pushed him to audition for a brand new HGTV competition show called Design Star. David walked in with modest expectations and walked out with a national audience. His bold colors, his fearless personality, his unfiltered authenticity. Viewers couldn't get enough. He didn't just compete, he dominated. And when he won that first season, he didn't just win a title, he won a future. HGTV handed him his own show, Color Splash. And suddenly all those nights hiding in sketches, all those years speaking through color instead of words, they weren't burdens anymore. They were his superpower. Then, almost like fate doubling down, 2015 rolled around, and David was chosen to host my lottery dream home. A gig that should have been simple, fun, light-hearted. But the show exploded because of one thing: him. His warmth, his humor, his empathy. He wasn't just helping lottery winners find homes. He was helping them feel seen. The rise was fast, almost too fast. But if Section 1 taught us anything, David's life never moves upward for long without something trying to pull him back down. Just when David's career hit its peak, the story took a sharp, unsettling turn. In 2015, his former partner, Jeffrey Glasgow, filed a lawsuit packed with explosive accusations, claims of financial misuse, escorts, drugs, wild parties. The headlines spread fast, and the contrast between the allegations and David's polished public image was jarring. But instead of fighting back in the press, David did something no one expected. He said nothing. No interviews, no posts, no counterattacks, just silence. And that silence spoke louder than any statement could. Months later, the court dismissed the entire case, calling the claims baseless and ordering Glasgow to pay legal fees. David resurfaced with only one cryptic message: that sometimes silence is the strongest move a person can make. Right as the lawsuit faded, life hit David even harder. Within months, his father was hospitalized with a dangerously erratic heart rate, and a close, lifelong friend suffered a sudden brain hemorrhage. David didn't make dramatic announcements or chase sympathy. He simply vanished from the spotlight and stayed by their sides. Fans noticed the silence, the absence, the sudden halt in his normally vibrant online presence. What looked like a thriving TV career from the outside was, behind closed doors, a period of fear, exhaustion, and emotional collapse. But even in that darkness, he showed the same quiet strength he'd learned as a kid. Stay present, stay steady, hold your people close. After years of chaos, David didn't just return, he transformed. When he reappeared on social media in 2023, the shift was unmistakable. Fewer staged photos, more real moments. Hiking, cooking, planting, healing. He bought his dream home in Winter Park and filled it with the bold colors that once saved him. His style became louder, his presence calmer, his purpose sharper. He launched design collections, expanded his brand, embraced mindfulness, and quietly built a loving relationship with Nicholas Martin. David wasn't trying to impress anyone anymore. He was finally living for himself, authentic, grounded, and unapologetically bright.